Hello, welcome to the SUSE session about the news in SUSE Enterprise 15 SP5. My name is Michal Švec. I'm product manager at SUSE, working on SUSE Enterprise products. Today we will talk about the SUSE portfolio, how SUSE Enterprise fits into that portfolio. We will talk about the SUSE Enterprise product family. And we'll also have a look at the highlights in the recent release, the 15 SP5. On this slide, you can see the product portfolio of what we do at SUSE. It has two parts. The middle part is Linux products. That's what we will focus on in this session. And the second part at the top is Kubernetes containers. That's the Rancher products. Diving deeper into the Linux part of the product portfolio, you can see SUSE Enterprise servers less in here in the picture. It's SAP flavor, the two key products. But we also do have our products for specialized use cases like the HPC for high performance computing, the micro host operating system for virtualized and containerized workloads. We have a desktop product, and we also have base container images for developing applications. We have various extensions enhancing the products with different functionalities like high availability, live patching, and others. And we also have a management automation, patch and update products, SUSE Manager and its retail flavor. We aim to provide all of these across four major architectures. Those are AMD Intel 64, IBM Power and Xeon ARM 64. And while there are some exceptions when and where it doesn't make sense or it cannot work, we really aim to provide everything across these four architectures. As you can see, it's pretty broad product portfolio set. So it ranges various use cases, really going from desktop to the servers in a data center through cloud towards the branch and VH. Let's talk about SUSE Enterprise 15 overall product family. Here on the slide, you can see the lifecycle with current active code streams. We have at the moment 3. So we have SLE 11, which is beyond its long-term support. So there's very little support ongoing, very little development and activities. We still have customers using it, so we do support it, but in a very, very limited extent. So there are pretty much no changes being done. SLE 12 is in general support. We have released its last service pack SP5. It will be in general support through 2024. And while we are not releasing any further service packs, we still do changes and updates here or there to enable selected features and deliver some like highlights as we are allowed by the fact that we are releasing these as a maintenance update. So we need to be very careful to not disrupt any running environments, existing workloads, but at the same time, we still want to at least occasionally provide features here or there to our customers who are on this code stream. SLE 15 is in general support. It's the current active code stream where everything is going on. We are working on SLE 15 SP5. Actually, it's done already, so we just released it. It's the last service pack. We plan 2 more service packs for SLE 15, SP6 and SP7. And beyond that, it will be generally supported for another couple of years. The overall life cycle is 10 years of general support plus 3 years long-term support. 7 service packs. We do offer service pack overlap support of 6 months with general support. And when we have various long-term support offerings, which extend the overall life cycle of a code stream or of individual service packs. One note here is that I'm talking about SUSE Enterprise Server here on the slide, whereas other products, including SLES for SAP or SLE Micro and others, have slightly different life cycle. And I would encourage you to go to suse.com/lifecycle for any further details on other products, not only the ones I mentioned. The SLE 15 release cycle is divided into 2 kinds of service packs. We do have consolidation releases. Those are the odd versions. Those tend to be a bit smaller, aimed at bug fixes and updates consolidation. However, we also do implement new features as we deem fit. So SP5 will be a consolidation release, so it will be a bit smaller than SP4, but it will come up with a lot of updates and new features anyways. The even versions are refresh releases, so they obviously contain the same things as consolidation releases. However, on top of that, we do provide and make a lot of new features and updates and upgrades to kind of make the code stream more attractive, to bring new features, new performance improvements, and other changes. So SP4 was one, and you can see that the amount of changes which went there was quite high, and SP6 will be another one, another refresh release. I'm sorry. Update and upgrade paths in between different releases and service packs as a reminder. So you can go within one release from one to another, obviously. No surprise there. You can go from one major to another major release. Within one code stream, you can skip service pack. You can actually skip two service packs. So that allows a lot of flexibility when it comes to upgrades and migration from one service pack to another. And interesting note here is that you can actually migrate from OpenSUSE Leap to SLES directly. That allows for seamless migration cases that somebody wants to do POC or just development environment originally for OpenSUSE Leap, and when they actually require enterprise subscription, they can easily go to SUSE and get a subscription for SLES. So it's a very easy process because the distributions are very, very similar, and a lot of the packages are actually exactly the same. So SLEE 15 is coming in different flavors and deliverables. So as I mentioned, we support a lot of target scenarios. So we obviously support a physical environment, but also virtualized, both host and guest. We support cloud environments. We are in all major cloud providers. We have base container images, so you can run that stuff in private clouds, hybrid cloud environments, and anywhere. The media are coming in two forms. We have the online media, which is very small but requires the network to be installed, and we have the online media, which have all the packages, so you can install it offline without any network connectivity. But then obviously for any updates, the network connection needs to be set up. We have a virtual machine images, we have base container images, we have images in Windows Store for WSL, and we actually do refresh all those quarterly. So once per quarter, we rebuild all those media to contain all the latest updates. That allows for like checkpointing and easy installation so that you don't need to download everything again, and we do it until another service pack is released. Regarding the setup of a product, we implemented something what we call module architecture. So everything, every package or component is in a module. So some products consist of multiple modules, like SLES. In this picture, you see the common set of modules, like the base system and others. Then you have server-specific modules, and then you have you can have product-specific modules like high availability and workstation extension with desktop stuff. And there's on top of that a pool of modules which you can use with anything like containers module with container technologies. So this is important to understand, and I'm not going into detail with this table, but different modules can differ in support level, in life cycle, in approach how these packages are maintained, and also whether long-term support is available. So you can see the overview here, and just as an example, the containers module, while it's fully supported, the life cycle differs since different components in containerized world have very fast turnaround, and our customers just want the latest technologies all the time. So stuff like Docker gets updated on a regular basis, as opposed to sticking to one version for like 10 or 30 years, because nobody would really be using it. We also have third-party modules which are providing functionality outside of SUSE team, which we provide as a convenience. So two notable examples are NVIDIA modules, where we have the drivers for the graphics cards and other things. And it's obviously supported by NVIDIA itself. And we also have Package Hub, which is a module providing community packages on top of SUSE Enterprise. Again, as a convenience to deliver the stuff which is in Leap, in OpenSUSE Leap, and not in SLEE, to allow customers to still use it. Here on the slide, you can actually see how it's set up in between different distributions. So Tumbleweed is a rolling distribution, which is many thousands of packages once in a while. Leap and SLEE are released as regular distributions with a more limited set of packages. And Leap and SLEE have a shared core, So it's the base system, it's stable, it allows for like stable enterprise core view operating system to be delivered to the community, but also enables community to give feedback to SUSE and deliver features which community has been working on to our enterprise customers. This shared core is shared in between SLE and Leap, and the packages which are in Leap on top of what's in the core, those are actually exposed in the module I just mentioned, is the package hub to enable customers to use those packages even if not officially supported by SUSE. Now let's dive a bit deeper into SLE 15 SP5 release, which we just got out. There are three major topics I want to highlight here. So it's hardware enablement, all kinds of updates and developer-related changes. So hardware enablement is what really drives the release. We are working on with our partners on various components which need updates to support latest hardware features. And we do work with guys like Intel, AMD, IBM, Dell, HP, and everybody who is actually doing something in the hardware to enable SLES and SUSE Linux Enterprise products to run perfectly on these platforms right at the time when they are released. So once the hardware hits the market, SLES should already work on these perfectly. A notable addition here is the confidential computing feature, which is becoming more and more popular, and we have worked with hardware vendors to support these features in SUSE Enterprise products. Despite SLE 15 SP5 not being a refresh release, we have done a lot of updates related to security, but also functionality features in the release, in the service pack, and that applies to container technologies and BCI, which is bringing me to the third topic of developer-related changes, because we want to encourage developers to use SLE as a development platform and keep it fresh as much as possible by providing these updates both to the base container images, but also to the components within the distribution like Python and other scripting languages. Some of the highlights on the slide are mentioned when it comes to the specific technologies. I will cover some of these in the coming slides, which contain many features about what we have done for 15SP5. I will not be going into the details of everything because it would be just too long, too much. You can still see those updates on the slides and go through them at your convenience in a calmer time. But let me dive into some of the highlights and technical changes which we have done in the release. So when it comes to the hardware enablement, I did mention that we are working with major hardware vendors. So let me pick some of the core vendors providing the core chips and platforms like Intel, where we are enabling the latest generation of the Intel Xeon processors and platforms, including features like TDX, which are essential for confidential computing. We are also enabling the client CPUs and other chipsets for Intel. On the AMD side, very similar story. We are enabling all the latest EPYC generation CPUs and chipsets, and also GPUs. And on top of it, we have been working on the SEV. We have currently SEV is fully implemented, and since SEV has been supported in SLES for quite some time, we are really building on top of that support and delivering all the latest changes to support the security in different environments, specifically in public clouds. ARM is also getting a lot of changes and updates, as you can see on the slide. We are enabling all the architecture, most of the architectural features and properties of a platform, including REV8-A. And you can see some of the details here on the slide. Again, not going into the many details here on that part. IBM Power and IBM Z have seen a lot of changes and updates to support the latest releases and drivers. So Power 10 specific changes have been done to support enhancements in cryptography tooling like OpenSSL and libgcrypt and others. And our features to support different hardware in the platform have been done. Very similar story for IBM Z. Many changes to the secure execution environment, and also additional support for IBM Z16 for the new CPU features and other processor properties. And actually, a bunch of other changes are going into supporting IBM platforms. We are also working with IBM Cloud Division to support the confidential computing properties with PCI and other things. Related to the hardware support is virtualization, since it's closely related. So this is one of the exceptions where we are actually doing updates even in a consolidation release. As you can see, we have updated to new Zen version, QEMU, Libert, and other components, again, to allow exploiting all the hardware and platform features to enable faster and secure virtualization in a data center and also in the cloud. We are working with other vendors like VMware to ensure that the joint collaboration works perfectly, like updating open VM tools. And also on the KVM host, we are working to support bigger hardware, larger instances, and Intel TDX I did mention for guests in the public clouds. Very key topic these days, with workloads moving more and more to the clouds and security being a big topic there. We are progressing with HANA on KVM certification and working on all kinds of documentation, best practices guides to make the overall story easier to use. Public clouds is a hot topic, so I did mention conventional computing, but we're also working on supporting all kinds of different instances in public clouds with all the major cloud providers. We work with Microsoft, Google, and Amazon on these, enabling the new platforms and new instances as they are being rolled out in the cloud, and also enabling the hardware features in these clouds as they become available. Containers, we do have the BCI project, Base Container Image Project. It's currently in the registry, .suse.com. It's available without any limits, so you can have a look at the images. It's been available already since a couple of years, and we are constantly working on adding new images and improving the existing images. And on top of it, we are working on adding other containerized workloads like RMT, the package proxy. We are working with NVIDIA on their containers, and we are also working on other containerized technologies to support developers and operators when they are actually running and using container tech in their worlds. Developers I did mention, so there is one highlight which are updates to all kinds of developer related tools. So all the scripting languages, Go and Rust, we actually do update those on a regular basis. We are adding Node.js 18. We added OpenJDK 17 to the set of supporting OpenJDK versions. Python I will cover in another slide. PHP is 8.0. We actually plan to update it with SP6. For the time being, we decided to stick with 8.0 because it's been the most spread release at the point in time. We are updating the toolchain, which we are actually doing yearly. So another yearly update for the toolchain development module. And this is to provide the latest environment for those who want to use it for building their specific applications. And WSL also is getting improvements to simplify using SLES in Windows environments. So we have unified server and desktop into one image, which you can now get from Windows Store as it was there before. Speaking of Python, there is one big change which I want to highlight. It's about adding a recent Python. So we do have Python 3.6 as a system, Python in SLE 15. That's what we plan to do going forward. We are, however, adding another Python 3.11. We already do it backwards from 15 SP4. So customers who have been using SLES already last year have a chance to use this recent Python. It will be delivered, or it is delivered in the Python 3 module. And we focus on delivering the key components like key modules. So it will at least initially not deliver everything what we have for Python 3.6, because many of those things are very specific and probably not very relevant anymore. And we plan for now to support it until December 2027. We decided to support it until this time because it's when the Python 3.11 upstream support ends. And then, until then, we actually want to see how our customers and partners are using it, whether there is a need to support it for longer beyond that, like what we do with 3.6, or whether we add another version of more recent Python and allow customers to migrate to another one again, because that's how our upstream and application projects are working, and it's something what we might need to do or we might want to do. So it's something to be done. So it's currently rolled out already as maintenance updates to both 15 SP5 and SP5. We'll be glad to have any feedback for those, because we want to see how our customers are using it in real life, and what we should do to make their environments work fine. On top of these big Python releases, we actually have also up to the latest upstream Pythons, which we have been doing for quite some time. It's really just an interpreter and a couple of necessary modules to allow those developers who want to follow the latest upstream to use those. Is provided in general support, part of the service pack, and we actually understand these just migrate from one release to another, so there is no real need to provide those longer. It's rolling updates, and it's really to fit those who want to stay upstream and keep up with the upstream development. Here on the slide, and I'm changing the topic from development to back to the enterprise world. I'm not going to cover it in detail because we are doing a lot of changes in SAP, and we do have a Trento console, which is pretty cool. I encourage those who haven't seen it yet to have a look and check it out. And I would probably point you all to the two sessions which we have at SUSECon. One is about Trento specifically, and the other one is about SAP and SUSE roadmap, where you can see these details in way more detail, and you will also see some of the pictures and other things. Availability is very related. We are doing a lot of updates there because it's also important topic there. So we have updated 3.2.7. OCFS2s have seen updates with new features, and also pacemaker and other components got their enhancements. And before I wrap up, a reminder about deprecate and remove components. So this is really not a new slide. It's what we showed already last time. It's a reiteration of about the stuff which has been replaced already or is deprecated. So Python 2 has been dead upstream for a long time. We still see customers use it here or there. We still have it in 3.12 or 15 SP3, but we really encourage everybody to move away from it. Similar to the other technologies mentioned here, like PAM-NSS, Open LDAP server, and some of the deprecated components like listed here on the page. So I'm not going to read those, and just mention that, for instance, Postgres, it's something that we have been doing on a regular basis, and we are just replacing old versions with the new ones. There is an overlap, and that allows for seamless migration from older versions to the new versions. So that allows customers to keep up with features and enhancements while having a seamless migration process. SUSE Customer Center, I wanted to list some features here since despite this not really being relevant to 15SP5 release itself, it might be interesting information. I did mention BCI already. SUSE registry is closely connected to SUSE Customer Center, so that's why it's here. We've gone through certifications about information security and privacy, specifically process part. So it's what we have already. We have implemented better system visibility in SCC for easier overview about subscriptions, better connection to the manager, and generally the user experience has been enhanced and improved. And we have a new SCC login page with easier access and better better approach how to get hold of different technical resources. So you can have a look at scc.suse.com for yourself and browse it and see what's available in there. Before I wrap up, one reminder about the beta program. So we are running extensive beta program in 2 versions. For public, we do have a public beta and public RC to enable anybody to access the latest features. That's what we have been doing, or what we had been doing for 15 SP5. We will do it again for the other releases. And we are running very extensive version for our partners. Partners can get access to all kinds of snapshots and milestones, and that enables us to deliver stuff like the hardware enablement I mentioned, where we work with our partners closely, collaborating on the beta releases, both of the software of SLAS and SLE products, as well as beta releases of the hardware, to make sure that these work jointly perfectly together. All right, last slide at the end, a reminder about the resources. I did mention beta program, product information pages is an obvious choice, and release notes is a very good article about, or a set of articles about technical details. So the stuff which I have mentioned in the slides is covered in detail in the release notes. So whoever is interested in that, I would encourage to go there and have a look. SLE15 SP5 is already there, and so are also all the old releases. So if you are interested, go have a look. With that, that's really it. Thank you very much. In case you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. And again, thank you for watching.